How you doing, ladies and gentlemen? Anthony Taylor here from SME Strategy, and today I want to talk to you about how to create better communication with your team and with your organization. So, why is communication important? You know, we talk about the how, but the why is what's most important. I want you to think for yourself, how much of your time as a senior leader do you spend communicating? If you looked at your day-to-day schedule, how much time do you think is spent communicating? And when I ask people this, typically the answer is about 70 to 80% of your time as a senior leader is actually spent communicating. So it's such an overlooked component of leadership and business, but you spend so much time doing it. Now, on the other side, or through the door, is if you can improve your communication by 10 or 20%, it actually means you have extra hours in the day to do stuff or communicate more, move your team forward, be a leader. So here's one of a couple tips I think that could help you communicate better with your team. So obviously we do strategic planning sessions, and the first step you can take is not necessarily to have a strategic planning session, but is to create opportunities and processes for communication. Get everybody in the room, make sure you make time to talk, because often the biggest gaps or the biggest challenges that happen with teams are because of insufficient communication. So that's number one, make time to communicate. Number two is to create an ongoing process to communicate. You know, whether that's daily huddles or weekly team meetings, make sure you're making time to talk about the right things at the right time. You know, we've all heard of death by meeting, and that's not what I'm suggesting. Meetings are only a challenge when they're time wasters. But if you have a clear agenda, a clear purpose for your communication, then it'll make a big difference for what you're doing. Number three, in building on processes, you can actually create a communication plan. It's identify all of the communication that you do as a team to say, you know, am I doing the right communications at the right time with the right people, or am I missing something? So by identifying and logging all of the communications you take on a day-to-day basis, it allows you to see both where there are gaps in your communication, as well as where is there overlapping communication where you're getting more communication than you need to. And for us, when we look at creating communication, there are 4 characteristics that you want for basically better team leadership. So number one, communication, broadly speaking, top down, bottom up, and all the way across. If you want to be a better leader, you can communicate better. Top down, bottom up, and all the way across. Number two is clarity, making sure that your communication is landing or getting across to where it needs to in the right times so that people can understand and use the information effectively. Number three is collaboration. Communication is one thing, but you want to make sure your team is working together to use the information in the way that is best possible, and you can optimize and make the most of the fact that you have a team with you. And number four, which is a little bonus, is compassion. You know, so often as leaders, we're just so focused on the bottom line and so focused on business systems and business processes. When you have compassion for the people that you're communicating with, it'll not only improve the quality of your communication, but it'll help you develop your leadership and develop respect with your team, which is one of those things that you can't really teach, but it provides huge benefits and will produce a tremendous ROI for what you're taking on. So 4 C's of communication, just communication, top down, bottom up, and across: clarity, collaboration, and compassion. Make sure that you have the right systems and processes in place, and making sure that you have the right communication at the right time. And all of those things will support you as a leader to get your job done, and it will empower you and your people to make the right actions at the right time. If you're looking for some more best practices on leadership, be sure to subscribe to our Strategy and Leadership podcast. That link is below in the show description. And then if you have any best practices for communication, be sure to leave them in the comments below, because we really want to be able to grow our community and support all of our leaders around the world to demonstrate leadership with the people in their organization. So my name is Anthony Taylor with SME Strategy. I hope you enjoyed today's video, and I look forward to sharing with you next time.